Oh buddy, Andy here again down on the beach, lovely sunny Saturday afternoon. I know, make videos, I seem to say that every single time, but there you go. What I wanted to talk about today actually was a bit about travelling, because I've been lucky enough to do a reasonable amount of travelling in my time, especially in my earlier years when I I remember going to America in 1981, but that was quite a big thing at that particular time, and not very many people that I knew had been there. And you know, I've been to a lot of Europe and India and Egypt a couple of times, and Sri Lanka, and I've been to America now 5 times, and Spain obviously I've been to fairly recently as well. But my son seems to have caught that little bit of a bug, I think, because he came back this morning from Hawaii. 24 hours ago he was actually in Los Angeles, so I'll come to that in a minute. It was a bit of a stopover. But he seems to have caught that little bit of a bug and been very adventurous. He's 22 and he went with his girlfriend. He's been on his own with his girlfriend once again to New York on his own a couple of years ago now. You know, before he was even legally able to drink, I think, in the bars there. Not that he's a drinker particularly anyway. But I like to think that he's got that a little bit off of me, and I'm very pleased, proud even actually, that he seems to be able to do that. He's willing to go to, you know, I mean, Hawaii, 11 hours time difference, and as we've discussed, you know, you can't really go much further before you start coming back again, you know, and he loved it there. It's a place I'd like to go to. But on that sort of point, we were talking at home the other day because my son sent some photos back, the wonders of the internet age and email and that, you know, emailed a few photos back so we could see where he was staying and what he'd been doing, you know, just a handful. And I was thinking, wow, that's some place I'd like to go to. I'm all like volcanology and all that type of thing anyway, and that's a great place to go to if you like volcanoes and, you know, not necessarily the big island, but, you know, some of the other islands anyway. And we were sitting there at the table, my wife and my daughter as well, looking at these photos, and both my wife and my daughter said, you know, I don't think I could be bothered with that. I'm not sure I want to go all that way, you know, and see somewhere like Hawaii. It doesn't really appeal to me. And it's that age-old thing that I've said to lots of people, the family included, is that there aren't many places that I wouldn't go to. But and I think my son's inherited those particular genes. Obviously, you know, we inherit different things from our parents and everything as well. But that's the part of it that he's inherited from me, I believe. And on that particular note, we was talking before he went away, you know, about the flight and everything, because the flight out there's about 10 hours to Los Angeles, then obviously he had a few hours in Los Angeles, and then it was a 5-hour flight to Hawaii. Coming back, he actually had 10 hours in Los Angeles, which is what he did yesterday, and he was very lucky because, you know, my bit of knowledge and having a look around, he was able actually to go into Los Angeles itself and have a look around the sort of Hollywood Boulevard area, an area that I know and been to myself. And he could do that on a little bit of a stopover, as he said, and I think it's a little bit touristy, a little bit trashy, but the Chinese Theatre, the Walk of Fame, the Hollywood sign in the distance and the hills and all that sort of stuff. At least you've done it, you've been there, you've seen it, you've experienced it. A lot of other people haven't done that type of thing. Once again, you could just sat in the airport and done nothing, but no, took it upon himself to think, I'm going to make the most of this. You know, I've got 10 hours, albeit, you know, checking in, checking out, that type of thing. I'm going to make the most of this, and that's what he did. And as I said, and then he's got a 10-hour flight coming home, so that's a long old day. Sure enough, he's pretty tired, but we were talking about this before he went away, and both him and myself, once again, similarities here, is that I actually enjoy travelling. Yes, a lot of people don't. My wife doesn't like it particularly, and I know my daughter isn't particularly keen, but I don't mind that, you know. There's that sense of excitement, getting on the train or the car journey to the airport or whatever it might be. Even in the airport, you look at the destination board, you might not be going anywhere particularly exotic yourself, but you can fantasise about all those sort of places, all those wonderful names that are up there on the departure board. And I enjoy all that sort of stuff. Even the coming home, yes, I'd rather not be coming home, and I wished I was in Los Angeles myself yesterday and having a meal in Mel's Diner and walking up and down Hollywood Boulevard myself, but it wasn't to be. But I wouldn't mind, I don't mind that type of thing. I actually quite enjoy the travel experience. Maybe because I don't do it as much as I'd like to, that might have a bearing on it. I suppose if you did it on a regular basis, I'm sure it would become a bit boring. But I'm willing to give it a try. I mean, I've done a bit of travelling and I'd love to do some more. At the moment, that's not really financially possible. Managed to book a trip to Barcelona next year with my wife. Once again, that's another one of those freebies. But I'm working on it. Who knows what's around the corner. But if I get the chance, you can be sure to know that I shall take it, and I'm glad to see that my son's taking those chances as well. Wonder if you are. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Sit on the beach, come to the seaside. That's one reason why I moved here. It's a bit like being on holiday. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.